Welcome to another Crypto Spendthrift podcast. So it's been quite the rough week, so forgive me if I kind of ramble on or is a little more hard to understand than usual or something. So the main thing today is the Senate case hearing, and that'll be smack dab in the middle, kind of near the end. So first up, before all that stuff, China cutting access to overseas crypto trading. So China is cracking down on foreign websites that offer Chinese users services. This is primarily exchanges and any other thing that allows Chinese citizens to access cryptocurrencies. Yes, ICOs cover this. Perhaps even gambling sites. It's probably a very wide-arcing thing, considering I did see that China is just trying to shut down everything crypto-related. And this is just a continuation of the policy that China has been implementing for the past months. It's not like it's a sudden change or surprise to anyone who's been following how China has been reacting to crypto. Italian crypto business will need to register under proposed new rules. So a business operating in Italy will soon have to register with the government. It's again in compliance with current anti-money laundering laws and such, and expect this registration law to possibly come into effect before July. They're having a little period where people can throw in their input before a certain date. I think it's later this month, but it's not too surprising that this country's trying to get a rein on crypto-related businesses, considering they do have that history of a mafia, and crypto can be a good source of money laundering, especially the privacy coins. Bitcoin ATM installation now outpacing bank ATMs installations despite price drops. So I feel like this is kind of a unnecessarily celebratory tone, considering I'm sure most bank ATMs are probably placed where they need to be a long time ago. But the Bitcoin ATM locations have doubled since last year, and around 43% of them support an altcoin of some kind. Most likely you'll find Ethereum, Litecoin, and something else, but definitely those other two. Most of these ATMs are actually located in the US and Canada, so mostly North America, but there is some in the UK, some scattered across various countries in Europe, and then in Japan and Korea. It'll be interesting to see the full range of security threats these ATMs kind of have for business risk. I mean, conventional criminals will probably wait and rob a person after they finish, but there's always a potential for hackers to do something too. What exactly, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure how these ATMs work, but sometimes people find a way to spoof, or possibly the hackers will put something in there that reads intercepts kind of I'm guessing these things usually spit out either a paper wallet or a private key to redeem it or something. But I'm sure someone will try to come up with a way to get in the ATM and intercept something that it's sending off to redirect it to their wallet or somehow. You never know. I mean, there's the critical hardware failures and processors that was under the radar for so long, and you don't know what kind of hardware vulnerabilities some of these ATMs could propose. Next up, fearing Bitcoin and seeking to capitalize on higher fees, Visa and MasterCard reclassify crypto purchases as cash advances. So instead of banning people from using credit cards and buying Bitcoin, banning people from buying Bitcoin with credit cards, like the move a lot of these banks are going with, credit card companies are responding by increasing fees and interest rates on crypto purchases. So if you use Coinbase, you'll get hit with an extra 5% fee, which is hefty. You're paying a good 9 to 15% in fees right there. And then you'll pay upwards of 25% daily interest for using these credit cards on crypto. So basically, don't do it. Use a debit card. Get a straight wire transfer or bank transfer. Just avoid credit cards. I mean, you probably shouldn't have been using credit cards in the first place in most people's cases. But now you really do not want to be using credit cards. However, Australia's major banks are confirming they won't ban buying Bitcoin with credit cards. So Australia is taking a different tone in this credit card debate. Kind of interesting, since those banks did throw up a huff about crypto a few months ago, and were a very small amount, and were actually limiting people's ability to purchase crypto altogether. But in their words, Australian crypto is unregulated and therefore not within an Australian policy. So they're basically not going to address this because they feel like it's beneath them or irrelevant to them. It's most likely they just feel like it's irrelevant. Like some of these big names were saying that crypto really doesn't affect anything on the greater economy, so they don't really care yet. So it is kind of weird that they're going with this policy of not even caring about the credit card thing when the UK and the US are all gung-ho about getting rid of credit card purchases. Canadian regulators want Google to ban ICO and cryptocurrency ads. So Google is already banning misleading ads and such, but these regulators want all crypto ads banned. So this is kind of an extreme case, since obviously not every project is a scam. This could hurt legit businesses pretty bad if Google is pressured hard enough. But despite all this, I can see ICOs getting the ban hammer across Google anyway, just because that would be a quick fix to most of the crypto woes by just banning advertising to ICOs, especially after this Senate House ruling. It kind of makes more sense for advertisers such as Google to be more skeptical with ICOs or any coin that has undergone such. But I'll talk on that a little bit later. Next up, BIS head goes full FUD and saying that cryptocurrency is a threat to financial stability. So I'm not going to bore you with this guy, because when the highlight of this article says goes full FUD, it really does mean he went full on FUD, like 100%, because he pulled out all the stops, pulled out all the buzzwords, said Bitcoin is both a bubble and a Ponzi scheme, and even added an environmental disaster for good measure. The gist of his argument is because this coin isn't controlled by a group of central bankers, it is pretty worthless, which obviously is not true, and in some cases it makes it superior to traditional currencies. it was just really basic anti-crypto rhetoric. So I just, boom, saves you so much time. And if you want to read this, don't bother. Very basic opinions you've heard from all these other people a million times. Nothing special. Exactly what you would think from the head of central bankers. Now, for more good news arena, time to talk about that SEC and CFTC hearing that happened a couple days ago. So this is definitely more US centric, but it does have some good news for the globe. So you gotta give credit to Giancarlo for seeing that there is no blockchain without Bitcoin and actually crediting the creation of this whole ecosystem, this whole technology, like run to Bitcoin. So that's always admirable when someone can talk about this and credit Bitcoin out just talking about blockchain and acting like it exists in a vacuum from crypto/Bitcoin. But like I've been saying for weeks, the SEC and CFTC hearing has reiterated, and it's that every ICO is considered a security. No matter what you do, if you're raising money via an ICO, you're considered a security. And they've stated that not a single ICO that has currently been released has registered with the SEC. I believe this month that is changing, or relatively soon that will be changing, and there will be actually a few that registered as a security coming up. But as of the hearing, there was no company that registered as a security prior to doing any ICO work. So any of these projects that have or allowed unaccredited U.S. investors, especially, are technically in violation of. They're in violation of something. Can't remember the specific thing right now, but the fact that they offered unregistered securities is the violation. So it is worth mentioning that they do separate crypto from ICOs in a way. They're saying that they're really looking for these crypto that are actually securities and not just normal cryptocurrencies that didn't raise money, that kind of just came into existence. So it will be interesting to see regulation, because it's definitely going to be targeted more toward ICOs and stuff that's in that nature of wording, and possibly even premines of some kind, like the original OG mining premines, even if those don't really exist anymore. If they're more common, they'd probably be in the spotlight. But I guess ICOs are technically premines. And basically Bitcoin itself, don't expect any kind of like harsh reaction from the SEC or CFTC. And I guess Litecoin too, and any coin that kind of follows the open source, mine it or generate it yourself however you generate, and the owners didn't have any kind of advantage over anyone or sold off. Well, I think private sales might be okay, but any kind of public sale, no. Next to mention is how these two organizations are really focused on straight up scams and Ponzi schemes currently, and they will say that they'll leave the rest of crypto relatively alone, which is good for everyone here. And that volatility was not a problem, since these entities, especially the CFTC, are used to it, and they already deal with things that are even more volatile, so that wasn't even a problem. the gist is here, U.S. regulation is not going to be as heavy-handed as we think. They're going with a do not harm policy where they really won't do too much with crypto right now. It's pretty surprising considering people were thinking it was going to come down very hard in regulations, but it definitely won't. The only thing that will see a hard regulation is ICOs because they're considered unregistered securities. And the biggest danger for the average person, the average trader, isn't the SEC or CFTC. It is the IRS. So file your taxes. Next up on the news, T-Mobile faces federal lawsuit after hackers stole cryptocurrencies. I'm sure you heard of all these before. It's when the telephone carriers are lazy and the person is using SMS verification. You should really switch that off. That's the worst verification you can have. And as you'll learn that because of the lack of security of these phone companies and a bit social engineering that anyone could do with these phone reps, you can get your crypto stolen with these SMS verifications, since you don't actually have to have the physical phone to receive them. So don't use it. Use some kind of authenticator to do whatever you're verifying. Authenticators can be hijacked as easily. I'd say most of the time they're more in-person danger than outside person danger or externals danger. IBM Maersk blockchain project adds logistics provider agility. So, there's a supply chain thing. Interesting fact that 1/5 of the total 1.8 trillion shipping costs can be significantly reduced by utilizing blockchain for document verification. As most of you probably don't know, but document verification slows shipments, and having something stuck in port or stuck in customs is bad because it makes you have longer lead times. You're wasting money because you're not moving product. So having this faster document verification really sends savings down the entire supply chain, from the manufacturers, the distributors, to you, the consumer. It's a really good thing once this starts getting utilized, and you'll see cost savings and profits kind of spread everywhere as it's more widely used. And I'm sure being used as document verification is going to be one of the most practical applications of using blockchain. And final, first Bitcoin to Bitcoin luxury real estate sale completed. So Michael Komarinsky did what he set out to do, and that was to have the first completely Bitcoin to Bitcoin sale. That means not going from Bitcoin to US dollars anytime. Like, it was straight Bitcoin to Bitcoin only, no conversion at all. So he's tempted this before, but the other party, I assume, wanted a conversion, and he wasn't about that. He wanted it to be straight Bitcoin. And it finally worked out. He set out to prove that Bitcoin can be used to buy things, and he did. It was used to buy this over $6 million mansion. Pretty insane. And that'll be it. See you on Monday. Rate and review, and hopefully next week won't be as harsh on me as this past one, and I could deliver a little bit higher content quality from you guys. And I'm kind of actually surprised that this is going to be nearly 20 minutes. So see you next time on the Crypto Spendthrift podcast.